Hi everyone, สวัสดีครับ Welcome back to social business, and I'm trying to wrap up the concept that we really studied together from the first week สัปดาห์ที่ผ่านมานะฮะคือหัวข้อของ social business นั้นเราเรียนถึง concept และพูดถึงไอเดียต่างๆนะครับ What I have now here is I've collaborated with my friends and colleagues from a business school at Copenhagen University, and we are very fortunate to get a Professor Kine from Copenhagen Business School CBX and their students to share their view on the differences between social business, social innovation, and social enterprises. Remember, we said that social enterprises refer to organizations that work towards looking at enhancing its quality through the social value. นั่นคือการสร้างมูลค่าหรือสิ่งที่มันเป็นประโยชน์ต่อสังคมในสโคปที่องค์กรนั้นต้องการจะทำนะฮะ Whereas in social business we refer to the brand new business that try to achieve the social impact by looking at social issues that they are very passionate about. Social business จะหมายถึงองค์กรที่มีเป้าประสงค์ที่ชัดเจนเลยว่าต้องการที่จะ achieve หรือมีวัตถุประสงค์ทางด้านของการเปลี่ยนแปลงประเด็นไหนของสังคมแน่นอนต้องได้ profit ด้วยนะครับเราลองมาฟังไอเดียไปด้วยกันนะครับและก็จะพูดถึง approach ด้วยนะครับว่า approach ที่แตกต่างกันนั้นเป็นอย่างไรไปดูกันเลยนะครับน่าจะเป็นประโยชน์สำหรับทุกคนนะครับ
I think individuals could be social entrepreneurs, and I think also social enterprises are organizations that try to achieve social change by applying business tools, and so by using earned income to achieve social goals, I think is what defines a social enterprise. But I also agree that individuals without a big organization could be social entrepreneurs.
So you must need a differentiation between a social entrepreneurs and social enterprises. If we don't have the formal structures, so we have a social entrepreneur. If we have formal structures, then could be a social enterprises. What do you think?
I think that it's different how we label, as you mentioned. It's all one of a big pot of people who sees problems and wants to create change, and we're just defining which level we are at. And I'm not sure that I will call the individual a social entrepreneur. It depends on what they're doing. But that for me is also a definition of the word entrepreneur itself. So when are you an entrepreneur? And I don't agree that you're an entrepreneur just because you're generating some income or doing something in the local society. I think that we need to be an entrepreneur, you need to do something that's innovative. Something that's new, which we haven't really seen before or in a new context. So a new way of creating change. And that's both for a normal entrepreneur, but also for the social entrepreneur. I think what you mentioned for me and my way of defining would probably just be a person with a great great recognition of what's going on around them, and who has this initiative, the feeling of initiative, and who wants to create change in the local society, but they will probably never reach above that. So they will never move on to be the social entrepreneur starting a social enterprise.
Do you not think that this kind of definitions make hassles to the people who don't really want to work well for the society, rather than encouraging them to just continue and recognizing them?
Recognition all the way through.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't define them as a social entrepreneur. But I think many of the people who are actually doing these projects don't see themselves as a social entrepreneur. Many people don't even get to thinking about the terms that we use or the labels we put on. They just know that they're doing something because they see a problem and they want to find a solution to it. Especially when it's only the individual. And then you get on to the enterprises where you have the more organized structure, and then you start recognizing that we have roles, we come together to create the strongest team to actually reach more people and hopefully have a greater impact. And then you also have the full support structure for these enterprises as well, where you have the full funding, for example, where we discussed the whole unlimited and Ashoka who goes in and for example, in Ashoka's case, pick out someone, a fellow, and say, we can really see that what you're doing will create change. So this we want to support, so you don't have to worry about everything else in the world. Now we give you the funding, go spread this out.
When considering definitions for social entrepreneurship, we need to consider two dimensions: the mode of social entrepreneurship and the level of analysis. First, let's consider the three levels of analysis. At the individual level, social entrepreneurship refers to social entrepreneurs who are defined as people using entrepreneurial spirit to achieve social change. At the organizational level, social enterprises refer to organizations that employ business tools to achieve social goals. And thirdly, at the interorganizational level, social impact investors and social incubator networks provide capital and advice to social entrepreneurial startups. Secondly, we can differentiate two modes of social entrepreneurship. The social enterprise mode refers to the foundation, management, and growth of social enterprises. In everyday practice, we would consider an entrepreneur to be a person who starts or runs a small business. Thus, if you open a bakery, you would be considered an entrepreneur. Following this logic, the founders and managers of small social enterprises can be considered to be social entrepreneurs. The second mode of social entrepreneurship is called the social innovation mode. It draws on the work of Joseph Schumpeter. Schumpeter says that it's not enough to start your own business. Actually, to be an entrepreneur, you have to identify a previously unexploited opportunity. Accordingly, the social innovation mode is considered with the discovery and sustainable exploitation of opportunities to create public goods through the generation of disequilibria in market and non-market environments. In the social innovation mode, we thus require three things: the discovery of previously unidentified opportunities to create public goods obliges social entrepreneurs to be inventive. The sustainable exploitation of this opportunity requires that they find a financially viable business model that allows them to support the idea financially. And finally, the generation of disequilibria implies that social entrepreneurs, in the Schumpeter sense, cause disruption in their market and non-market environments by initiating their peers to copy and replicate their ideas. Let me give you an example here. I'm pretty sure that you have heard of Professor Muhammad Yunus, the founder of Grameen Bank, a microfinance social enterprise in Bangladesh. Professor Yunus has received the Nobel Peace Prize because of his contribution to the area of microfinance. Let's consider this example from both a social enterprise perspective and a social innovation perspective. Did Muhammad Yunus receive the Nobel Prize because he started, managed, and grew a social enterprise called Grameen Bank? I don't think so. In my opinion, he has been awarded the prize because so many people around the world have been inspired by his work. The Grameen Bank model has been copied and replicated in numerous countries. Today, for-profit banks such as Deutsche Bank or Societe Generale have invested in microfinance. At the same time, the microfinance idea has revolutionized development organizations such as the World Bank or Danida, the Danish aid organization. Muhammad Yunus has both started a social enterprise and kicked off a global social innovation. However, keep in mind that you do not actually have to do both. Not all social enterprises are innovative, and not all social innovators start social enterprises. Let me give you an example of why the difference between social enterprise mode and social innovation mode matters. In the 90s, the environmental activist organization Greenpeace developed an environmentally friendly refrigerator technology called Green Freeze. The East German manufacturer Foron developed a prototype, and by advertising it, Greenpeace helped Foron receive 70,000 pre-orders. Foron quickly became the poster boy of German social enterprises. It had a revolutionary new green technology. It created jobs in the region of Eastern Germany with high unemployment, and it had a financially attractive product. However, when Greenpeace put the Green Freeze technology into the public domain, many competitors followed suit, and Foron eventually went bankrupt after it had lost its major differentiation advantage. Today, over 300 million refrigerators use the Green Freeze technology. They have been sold in Europe, Asia, and South America by leading brands such as Whirlpool, Bosch, Haier, Panasonic, LG, Miele, Electrolux, and Siemens. Should we consider the Foron story a success or a failure? From a social enterprise mode point of view, Foron has failed. From a social innovation mode perspective, Green Freeze has transformed a whole industry. So you can see that there is quite a difference between the social enterprise point of view, which is focused on a specific organization, and the social innovation point of view, which mainly wants to transform industries and get other people to copy and replicate your ideas.
Okay, how are you? สนุกไหมฮะ I hope you understand the point from my colleague from Copenhagen Business School. The point here, I think it's very interesting when you start from the definition, because it's really another forms of entrepreneurship ใช่ป่ะในความหมายของมันเนี่ยมันก็คือรูปแบบหนึ่งของการเป็นผู้ประกอบการนะฮะ and the second point is the level and approaches. I like the fact that they use example from Grameen Bank and explain that as social innovation คงจำได้นะฮะว่าในระดับ individual ระดับบุคคลเราคือ social entrepreneur เมื่อเป็นองค์กรแบบที่สูงขึ้นมาก็จะเป็น social enterprise นะฮะจนมาถึง pan organization ระดับ industry นะมันก็จะเกิดสิ่งที่ทำให้กลายเป็นการเป็นแบบได้นะครับสำหรับ social innovation เป็นคอนเซ็ปต์ที่สำคัญมากคือมันไม่ใช่เพียง social entrepreneur หรือการทำการเปลี่ยนแปลงนะแต่สเต็ปคือมันมี3อันอย่างที่Professor ไข่บอกไว้อันแรกคือเป็นการมองหาโอกาสทางสังคมที่มันคนมองไม่เห็นมาก่อนนะแล้วปัญหาหรือโอกาสทางสังคมข้อนั้นเนี่ยเราเปลี่ยนให้เป็นสิ่งที่สามารถ funded by investor ใช่ไหมยกตัวอย่างเช่นปัญหาความยากจนในบางประเทศมูฮัมหมัดยูนุสมองเห็นบอกว่าอันนี้เป็นธุรกิจได้แล้ววิธีการแก้ปัญหาคือการเข้าถึงเงินจำนวนก้อนน้อยคือ microfinance เราใช้ตัวอย่างGrameen Bankตลอดนะครับดังนั้นก็เขียนเป็นไอเดียเป็น proposal มาแล้วก็ได้รับการสนับสนุนอย่างดีทั้งจากรัฐบาลและจากองค์กรระหว่างประเทศแต่ระดับที่ลึกที่สุดของการเป็น social innovation นั้นก็คือความสามารถที่จะเกิดการลอกเลียนแบบและเอาไปใช้ต่อเพื่อแก้ปัญหาเดียวกันในประชาคมต่างๆทั่วโลกนะครับเป็น replication and ability to expand and scale in other placesหวังว่าคลิปนี้น่าจะทำให้คุณเข้าใจคอนเซ็ปต์เบื้องต้นได้เป็นอย่างดีนะครับในคลิปต่อไปเราจะมาดูกันในเรื่องของการพูดถึงวิธีการประเมิน impact หรือผลกระทบของ social entrepreneur แบบพวกเรานะครับขอบคุณมากนะครับคิดว่าน่าจะเป็นประโยชน์ไม่มากก็น้อย